Welcome back, guys, to the LCK, and this is Joel with your translations for this post-match session once again. And we're here with Dangun and Bitto once again, and see what they have to say about that match that just ended up with KT getting a pretty easy Game 1 victory. And we thought that, both teams couldn't be too happy with how the games ended in terms of the individual performance that could have went better for both teams in their own respective terms. And I think the most important thing was that, the better team did win out. So while not totally satisfied on their own performances, KT will still be the better team to win out that game. So, and that early game was really important for Aatrox. Had to really get big early, because if it get behind that Mundo, we knew it was going to have a tough time against that matchup. And we do have a couple of things that we want to keep our point on. How Aatrox did become the monster that it did near the end game, and look at that for a bit, because this is a very basic technique, very known to many people. And this is basically when you're trying to get an advantage in the top lane, is really just utilizing your jungler in the best of ways, and we saw basically the pressuring of exactly how they was trying to do, because the Aatrox, as soon as they got the pressure onto the top lane, they just really put the pressure on the opponent jungler as well. So we saw BBQ's jungler really having a hard time after Mundo fell behind just a little bit, and basically that dominance kind of went through the entire time, because that warding was there, the vision was there, and with the two of them put together with the jungler and the top laner, we knew great things were about to happen for KT. And it's a big example right here, because Rush just went in relentlessly, and basically it didn't take much time for that Graves to go down. And because we were trying to see the Graves trying to gank the top lane, trying to survive Mundo for the longest of time, but having that flash use and even that gank failing, we knew that the utilization of that flash meant the Graves was going to have a harder time in the later moments. And we saw KT just capitalizing the best out of that situation, and knew exactly what to do, because just putting that ward right there, just below that, between the blue and the Krug, and we knew what was gonna happen, because all the vision advantage was there, and Aatrox really didn't have any trouble moving around and keeping its dominance over the Mundo most of that game. And that's what allowed the safety, because the gank, definitely opportunity didn't come through for Graves anytime after that. After the dominance was there, the warding was there, the vision was there as well. And even Camille just repeating that over and over. As soon as Mundo felt like pushing the lane just even a little bit, the Camille was definitely there all the time to pressure right back on defense and get the counter gank on. So we'll get to look at a couple of other scenes where made a very significant role into how this game ended. We saw even the stopwatch being used there by Crazy, but otherwise the Camille was already there putting that CC on, even the ultimate, and we knew that Aatrox was going to be able to finish it off rather quickly. And for the mid game, it was more about both teams kind of training between each other, not really knowing the whereabouts of how this game was going to go in the end, and it was all about the Aatrox in the end that really had a big advantage for the early game, but kept that into the late game and eventually won out. And we were trying to see what the fans were reacting to. They were definitely reacting to the Aatrox, and talking about the item tree was definitely one of the discussions there, and really just a strong pick that was hidden for Smith for the longest of time. Now it's bringing it out, looks like a Joker card that he wants to play in key moments like these. And definitely a one-line summary. It's going to be ready for Bitto. It was a close matchup, and I feel like the Smeb was really important here, and his name is Song Kyung-ho in that's what he's saying. That's the name in Korean. He's going to say Song Kyung-ho, and that's the translation right there. And now that's what best I can do, guys, and I'm going to send it back to you over here for the next game.
I gotta admit, that was a pretty good woo!
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was basically saying Smeb woo. I like it, and he's going to grab the MVP as well. 5-0-5, a lot of kill participation, and that's his first for the season. Of course, one of our MVP winners in seasons past, but
double MVP
slow start
in the 2016 season, something that BDD were looking to copy this year. Smeb has had a down recent time, so he needed some good times, and his ward was the one they collapsed onto. Goodbye, Trick. Your flash is down. You are the most dead. And from there, they transferred it into shutting down the Mundo to some degree, and while KT did not cover themselves in glory, as Korean casters said, as we said, I'm sure as the Korean community said, they still pick up the Game 1 victory. They do take down BBQ to open up a lead in the series.
Yeah, and Smeb, just disgusting on this Aatrox, but it's why it's been seeing a lot of bans as well. Very powerful pick at the moment. We certainly had a lot of things to say about what KT did wrong, so if they can clean that up for our next game, we will be happy.
And don't rework Aatrox is rank 5 in Korean solo queue, and well, I imagine if he queues and they know about it, he doesn't get Aatrox too much, but this is the Aatrox that we never saw, and then they decided to rework it and it's back. So that's funny how that works out.
Yep, and remember these things are, it's a very long time coming getting a rework happening like that, so a little bit unfortunate for Riot Games, but Smeb showing that Aatrox absolutely fantastic in the current meta.
I have an update, by the way.
Yeah.
Australians came back. We're 1-1 at halftime. The Moose on the loose. Is it Moose hunting season? We'll find out.
Oh, could potentially be, but now that it's even, we don't get underdog status.
And we don't know till it's over because this could be another 45-minute game.
Hey, that is very, very true. Or we, it could be a BBQ Oliver's victory as well. I mean, we'll have a very small amount of time to get an update. And then we can figure out what's going to happen after that as well. It could be an extraordinarily long night here at the LCK, but let's hop in to Champion Select and see what KT Rolster are going to do now that they're on the blue side of the rift.
Swain first pick does seem to loom for them. Now they've shown they can flex it to the bot lane. Smeb has played it plenty of times in solo queue. What will BBQ choose to ban? As KT were the ones to ban away the Yi on blue and now red side, so both of them banned away, and seems like Deft won't get to fall back to the Ezreal. So Ezreal Tahm Kench never banned against Gen G when Gen G are on the blue side, but are banned against KT and also Kingzo.
Well, Zoe's actually going to be banned away here by BBQ, not wanting that as the first pick option here for KT. Of course, Yukal, great Zoe player, although he's suffered a loss this season on the champion.
No roster changes for either side,
yeah.
So Ghost and Trick will maintain their spot. A Lulu ban on blue side. Peculiar, but saying we'd like to first pick Swain, please.
May we please have a Swain?
Maybe a Camille, possible as well, if they really want to go for a pick for their jungler. And Rush maybe on Nocturne even, as there is a couple of headaches to consider here for BBQ. So Shen, Nocturne, some strong stuff open. The Shen ban could just be a Nocturne fallback for Rush. He has played it where available before.
Yep, and that's going to be instantly locked in as well. The Shen ban, I think, is very curious because that would have given, them the opportunity to potentially
Korean
lock in.
casters gasped when they saw the first round Aatrox, the Smeb.
Oh man, and the double pick away here as well.
Yeah, I like the Swain takeaway because I know KT would have gone there. Now we're going to see the picks against it. While you do see KT rush with a Talia with Smite, you cannot take Smite, and of course they have a Nocturne. The Wolf is there, as Smeb saying, cool Aatrox, I'm going to go for the same champion matchup, but this time I'm on the Mundo side.
Yep, and it's still looking really scary on the side of KT. We know that Yukal was basically a Talia one trick before he entered into the LCK, so no slouch there as Tempt. He's going to lock away the Trundle here for Trick, so still a lot up in the air as far as flex picks and where things are going. The bottom lane Swain could happen again, or Tempt could be playing it. It's most likely that the Aatrox is towards the top side of the lane, the top side of the map, but who knows? Anything could really happen here.
Jungle pathing's so important when you take Trundle against Nocturne, because if you're on the wrong side of the map, you really can't create too much, and then your ganking is usually very situational. Trick's been up and down on the ganking side. Some great plays on Skarner, which goes unpicked in this particular game, but wants to make the Trundle work, wants to use his Subjugate on Mundo. That's their strategy, to try to kill the Mundo.
Yeah.
Subjugate plus Aatrox 2 item could kill a Mundo, but if Nocturne is making the ganks and Trick's not being able to make the plays, it's going to be a pretty big struggle. Aside of BBQ, you see the Yasuo ban. They're saying, well, we could go Yasuo and have the synergy with the Trundle, even the Swain to some degree, but they will not be getting that. And another Marksman ban, 3 Marksman bans into KT.
Yeah, does this mean BBQ possibly looking for something like a Mordekaiser on the bottom side of the map, not wanting to get answered? Or do they just lock in the Tahm Kench and leave it all up to fate to see what KT are going to do and then counter pick, see whether they're going to put the Swain down there or in the mid lane? Fiddlestick's going to be the final ban here, and we'll find out what BBQ want to do next.
I think they just want to see Deft on a non-marksman. Most of the meta marksmen are now banned, at least the ones with stronger laning phases that fit the meta.
The first one he played this season was the Ashe, though, and it looked really good.
The reason why your original question is about the Mordekaiser is, like, if you're going to see a Soraka ban in this instant, you'd make sense, because Soraka, of course, can be very strong against bruisers. It seems like BBQ want bruisers, so banning away a Soraka, I would understand, but banning away marksman is interesting, given that Deft has moved away from them so much. Oh, Deft hovering, a pick that may be for him, in fact.
Hey, that's true. Deft has certainly played it off meta in the bot lane in the past with teleport, and now it's meta to do all of those things.
You could at least close a meme loop if you were to win with it, but he might just go Mordekaiser anyway.
Well, this
Kind of be BBQ getting what they want if he goes Mordekaiser. They're going to get it.
But Marta can also go for the Alistar here as well, and the Mordekaiser Alistar lane has been pretty destructive. I personally want Pyke.
Ornn is what I want.
Oh yeah, the classic Bash Bros on the bottom side.
They were the Bruise Bros, so
yep.
Let's see if we do see the
Well, this one's okay.
Ornn. This would be some range and a bit more lane up priority. If they get through bot lane and get a Drake and Marta is unleashed on Thresh, oh boy.
Yeah.
That is the recipe for so many KT victories in spring season.
I like the fact that they can set up a wall as well and create a Thunderdome for Deft to fight people in with that shield available. And the Nocturne can be augmented with that shield to help him stay a little bit more healthy there as well. I don't mind it here from KT as far as the composition. Certainly is very brawl heavy.
And BBQ's, to me, is a bit more curious. Looking for support with the last pick. It's going to be the support Gragas on the side of BBQ, wanting to maybe knock the Mordekaiser into the waiting arms of BBQ and separate the foes. Banning 3 marksmen, then taking Aurelia is a very interesting decision, because you force KT into something like the Mordekaiser or a Bruiser, and then you have no one to dive on other than the Taliyah in a team fight. So kind of peculiar by BBQ. They really didn't want to see Deft on the marksman. They got what they wanted, you'd say, in that particular side. But if KT take the first Drake and then unlock Marta to roam, BBQ are going to have to play some great evacuation League of Legends, and Trundle is going to have to be ahead of the play.
And if you wanted Deft on the Mordekaiser, remember, KT haven't been winning all that often, but he's still 2-1 on the Mord, feeling pretty damn good with how his Mord has been going. And there's a lot of other players that haven't found that level of success with the Mordekaiser on the bottom side. So it is very curious from BBQ, but maybe they've got a plan, because it felt like they knew exactly what they were going to be in for with those last couple of picks for KT.
They seem to set themselves up for KT's draft, but putting all their champs together, I'm not seeing the inherent synergy. They do have the Swain Trundle for potentially a lot of fun happening, but
yeah,
it is an interesting draft from BBQ. KT Rolster, we know how these more drafts go. Feast or famine on their side.
And if Crazy's able to get to that Aatrox level that we saw Smeb have with his MVP performance in game number 1, then that could just turn the game on its head with one guy alone.
True.
And remember, him alongside the Swain means that a lot of zone control with the Swain ultimate coming in there. Certainly a lot of options here for BBQ if they can make this composition work. But guys, if is the operative word in that statement. We'll see whether they can or whether KT are going to roll over them 2-0. Let's get to the Rift.
미니언 생성까지 30초.
Well, it seems like some of our audience members have eaten some BBQ chicken, because very loud are they at the moment, as Yukao going to hit all of the threaded volleys onto Trick, and he's going to go back home and say, dang it.
Gone for a lot of regen, opening the Corrupting Potion on Taliyah. You should just see Doran's pots pretty much. See, oh, look at that.
Oh, thanks, guys.
We love you guys.
Diamond in O, scared on my level. What does that roughly translate to here in Korea is the question?
About Wood 1, I think.
So my level.
Yeah.
Is that what you saying?
Wait, you climbed?
Yeah, I got on his level.
I didn't know you got out of Wood 5.
Yeah, I did. I got out of Wood 5.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm Tin Can 7.
Ah.
Yeah, moving up.
Is that what Riot's calling the new tiers they're adding?
Yeah, they needed to add me. I asked them for it.
Here's a power leash if we ever got one from a Mordekaiser and Thresh.
Feels real good. Rush says thank you. Be able to take down this Brambleback very nicely as the spooky Nocturne, my personal favorite. It is so good. He just looks like such a troll. It's amazing. And he's against an actual troll. So fitting. Beautiful. Smeb also going to go TPA for the Gonk.
Remember, he chose the reverse matchup, so we're definitely excited to see him make things happen. There's a lot of ways for Swain to get value in the bot side. If the pillar comes in, Trundle and Swain we know about. That was the OP duo in the mid and jungle.
Yeah. In
spring season, remember that Gragas Body Slam will also proc the Swain passive as well, so even just in the lane that can happen, and we don't even need to introduce the explosive cask on that side, so a lot of fun interactions for Swain to profit off.
As levels go up, I mean, the Mordekaiser is going to be very happy to have a lot of extra CC available to him with Marta. As you can bully a little.
Being a big jerk doesn't have to deal with a wave clear advantage for the Irelia like you do for most Newtalia matchups as Ignar.
Wanting to try and steal away this Rift Scuttler, but it is going to go over to Deft quite nicely. They're going to get a speed boost as well, maybe close in on the Gragas-esque.
Could have said Esquire.
That's what the skin's name is. I call it what the skin's name is, Papa.
You're always about just being... Oh! The cannon minion was missed. Sorry, I was tilted by that.
Yeah, I'm tilted by that as well. BBQ always disappointing.
Let's see if BBQ can pull off the Swain laning phase as well as we saw the side of KT doing it. I think it's actually tricky. Again, we're at the how many games of Swain bot lane have you played and how many in this matchup, maybe 0.
Yeah, Deft was actually very impressive on the Swain in the laning phase, as you remember, everyone at home, against the Varus as well with double ranged. This could potentially be easier for the Swain against the Mordekaiser, who's very melee.
KT just won so many games in spring season from Deft and Marta styling on people in the duo lane. They were outstanding 2v2. 4JJ and Ruler had a rough season. A lot of other lanes, they're playing Gorilla with their usual reliable selves, but certainly weren't overtaking games. But how many times do we see Kalista Thresh, Caitlyn Thresh, turret goes down, Marta hits 3 MVP hooks and the game ends? It happens so many times.
Oh, Pillar is actually going to come in here as Smeb. He's going to move over, looking for the flash over the wall, gets it. But that is definitely going to be flash over to BBQ and a successful gank for Trick.
Recall was started, but very nice. Pillar behind. Well played, and they get the flash while this Mundo is still very easy to gank. Again, things different now for Deft and Marta as they're refusing to copy Core JJ and Ruler and stick with the marksman, and that's why, to me, they've been a little bit less predictable in how they open the games.
Very sad as another cannon creep does go by the wayside, but KT still ahead in gold. Not going to be too worried about that on the side of Smeb. Has teleport still, but no flash means that we may see Trick make his way up towards the top side yet again. UK playing patient.
Deft's going to have a big item advantage because Ghost has to go into Rod of Ages, and Deft is going to build a Banner of Command, and it'll take a while for BBQ to clear that one out. In terms of push pressure in bot lane, the Rod of Ages building Ghost is going to be heavily answered by Deft, but there is, we should mention, the minion dematerializers he can hold on to.
Yeah.
We'll have to use those. The reason why I wanted to point out that pushing advantage was because, well, it's all about getting that first Drake, so being able to put down a Banner of Command and then take Drake would be a big lead for the side of KT. The minion dematerializer is a nice little choice here from Ghost to slow down that strategy.
Yeah. Well, going to hold on to 5 charges for the moment. He's going to go back home, and we'll see whether he teleports back to this lane. Would make some sense, as you can see, Deft and Marta shoving. This Trick might be in a little bit of trouble, but does set himself down some ground. Some icy ground this time instead of some filthy ground like it used to be. He's going to make his way safely back into his jungle.
Rush close to 6 already. Has about a half a level lead onto the Trundle, but had no camps to take, so slowed down in that particular endeavor. In the top side, seeing a Smeb in the reverse matchup, also using TPA and Mundo, and find some success and vindicate my assertion. This was a skill matchup and a timing matchup, more so than just Aatrox presses his W and R and runs at the enemy.
And last time around, it was Smeb struggling quite a bit in the earlier stage of the game on the Aatrox, and getting a difficult back timing, but this time it is a really nice Tiamat pickup here for Crazy. He was ahead in farm and didn't have to teleport to get back to the lane.
What happens when you have a Nocturne jungle on the side of the Mundo?
Makes sense.
Not going to be too helpful in influencing the lane. Rush going to pick up 6 from the red buff. This is it spawns.
Yeah, really good timing as well. Remember, he was sitting up on the spawn of the Rift Scuttler as well. So this guy's been power farming, power farming, power farming.
Double control ward bot side and level 6 Nocturne. They spawn, they ping the spawn of the blue buff. So what this all means for the Drake, as there is that level lead and the ultimate available to Rush.
And the ultimate available for Deft as well, considering the fact that Mordekaiser does do pretty well when it comes to getting towards level 6.
One control ward is obviously very conspicuous onto the actual Ocean Drake. The other one is there. They can collapse very quickly with Thresh, Nocturne, and Talia. Speaking of the 3.
Yep, Tempt is going to give away the fact that he was going over towards the blue buff, but it's going to be Trick that locks that one down for himself.
Weaver's Wall could be used to try to deny people here.
Yeah, and Hook is actually going to go wide here as well. So KT actually breaking off this one because they know Rush cannot tank this for very long. Ultimate does come in as Deft. He gets tagged by it as well. Another stun, but BBQ not going to opt in for it. Teleport came in from Crazy, but was held onto by Smeb, as now the Dragon looking to be taken by BBQ. Taking a lot of damage as Weaver's Wall comes down. Oh, the steal not going to be in there for Rush, who's now by himself. But see you later, Gragas, and the ultimate comes down from Deft. It's now a 6 versus 4 as KT moving towards the bottom lane. Good stun is going to stop that aggression by BBQ.
Can they get any more, KT? They only get a single kill. Weaver's Wall used to slow down to get the full zoom
fat
on
man.
Gragas.
I like it.
For some reason, I like to think of the Gragas Esquire Ghost as like the executor of his will. Because he's a very classy man with a lot of money. I'm going to watch the replay. The Weaver's Wall was, I assume, used onto just Aatrox because the call was this Dark Flight was on cooldown. Because otherwise, obviously, he would just jumped over it with a Dark Flight.
Yeah, true.
It wasn't up. They're able to get a lot of turret damage on this, but because of the timing, there is no Banner of Command available, as you're still laughing about.
No, sorry, the Never Move made it look like the Gragas Ghost did a body slam, which was kind of awesome.
That's great. They're getting a lot of damage on this turret. Maybe the Banner of Command will be able to at least draw out some of the minion dematerializers. Smebs goes back top side with no items, and because of the no items, Trick's interesting.
Smeb thankfully does have a stopwatch to try and save himself. Darkflight not going to get the knock up here as Crazy does have the passive. Everyone's underneath this turret though as Trick. He's trying to tank it up as well. Smeb surviving for so long, and the Nocturne comes in and gets a kill back. Crazy, remember, doesn't have the passive anymore and picks up the turret aggro. This is a disaster for BBQ as Ghost. He's going to go down. Everyone piles in, but everyone's got a damn stopwatch. Yukao going to flash out of the way, has the threaded volley for a lot of damage, and not going to be able to land. The seismic shove is Yukao. I believe that goes in favor of KT, but honestly, it was just messy.
This segment sponsored by Rolex. Stopwatches everywhere on the side of KT. Allows them to trade up. BBQ aren't going to get the turret from this push, and Mordekaiser probably will. Ghost packed up and left. Lots of resources used by the side of BBQ, but it just gives more farm and a turret lead to KT.
Yeah, take us through the strategy here. Is it use your timepiece, Papa?
It is, but I think Smeb buys an immense amount of time with the fast footwork, especially because eventually 4 people are here to try to take him down. We've got the picture-in-picture of the turret going down. One timepiece used by Ghost. They turn on to Rush. This is just so much bling, Atlas. It's needless bling.
Right? Oh, is it needless? I think it worked out pretty damn well. As Yukao flashes out of the way, gets himself ignited, and Tempt has to use his flash. As the dust settles, definitely looks great for KT, but it's another messy game. As in goes the Paranoia. We're just getting fights after fights here as Rush gonna have to take a lantern to get himself out of that one. Decides that, 1v3 probably not going to be thing. Seismic shove, see you later, Ignar. And Rush is even going to get that kill.
Actually missed the Dustbringer because he used it too early on the first ultimate. Second time around, that was a stationary target. Well hit by Rush. Hogchamp for that.
Yeah.
Gonna take the Scuttle Crab off the back of it, get some control over the Rift Herald, and this game is starting to snowball away from BBQ.
That's why we've seen Nocturne bans all day long as well. Once that Paranoia gets online, if you're successful with your first 1 or 2, damn, the game looks easy for the team with the Nocturne.
Snowball's so hard, and deletion damage can be oh so powerful. Rift Herald picked up, looking at the damage dealt. Good job, Nocturne. He's had a lot of it. Just a lot of balling.
0 damage in the team fight. How did he not kill anyone from
Classic
the bottom
death.
lane? Classic. He must have face-checked the bottom lane instead of being at the fight.
Did he teleport?
Yeah, probably.
You wouldn't know it, but we really do rate Deft as a legend of the bot lane.
In fact, both of us have been commentating Deft for a very long time before you or I even left to be here in Korea.
Back in the LPL days of 2015.
We have been EDG fans with Deft as a member of the team as well, but even over on Samsung Blue for Deft.
To be clear, if you didn't see it, Deft was bot lane.
He was bot lane pushing huge.
He wasn't really, he was out of range of damage.
He was. Alright, Marta going to find a hook here as the box goes down. There's the ultimate. Trick is going to probably help take the mid lane turret if he falls, and he is going to. Trundle Ghost now to be taken behind this turret, and Shelly's even here. My god, there's everyone piling in. That's 7 members of KT. Feels like they're cheating as they're looking to try and take this one down. No, it's not 7 because Smeb, he's still top lane. 6 is still way too many, but Yukal is going to make it even there in the mid, and Crazy does have to get the hell out. Doesn't have the passive stacked up, and that's 2 turrets for almost nothing. Threaded volley, lots of damage onto Crazy, but look at this, KT.
Trundle's coming.
Where is this guy going to go? Crazy's trying to fight back, and Smeb, he's in trouble. He's just going to die. Really nice job from Crazy, knowing that the whole cavalcade, the onslaught of KT members is up here. Yukal grabs the kill in the end, but 1 for 1. You'll take it as Crazy.
Well, they get the kill. They got double kill on turrets in the mid lane, which is a massive lead. Packing up with Thresh and leaving lane. A KT special. Works really well for them. Rush is overstayed here.
Well, Trick looking for another pillar.
Lantern's on cooldown.
Vision of Empire is just going to give Rush a little bit more as the ultimate flies through, but not exactly the greatest positioning there as Paranoia. He has to turn it around. Oh! He might even do it as he survives for so long, but no, not going to be the opportunity. It's the passive coming in to keep the Gragas alive as in goes Tempt. Going to get himself a stun, but another Lantern ride helps him get his way out of there. Okay, BBQ will be gifted with this outer turret, and KT, man, that was some just ridiculous stuff on the top side of the map, and honestly, some more sloppy play.
Gifted is definitely a good operative word, because Smeb and Yukal decided to conspire to lose one in a scenario where that shouldn't have been possible. Yukal didn't want to take turret aggro and then took it and couldn't really do much, so it just ended up being Aatrox straight up killing the Mundo. Peculiar choice by KT. In the end, they stick a big lead, because they did get double turret in the mid. After unlocking Thresh to get the sick hook, they back away, Cloud Drake's up, they rush towards that, and KT will say, well, no one saw that, let's get our next objective.
Yeah, and Yukal going to easily be able to take away the blue buff. Not allowed to have smite, but hell, you still do a lot of damage to neutral minions with that threaded volley.
This is the Rush special build on Nocturne, the very early Guardian Angel.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel second.
Given some of his choice of Nocturne ultimates, I'm thinking of the one where he tried to throw the game going into the enemy base, the 30 IQ use of the Nocturne ultimate. Yeah, it does give him some I'll just engage options.
I like it.
OGN has a video series where they're talking about some of the lowlights of the season, or the amusing moments of the seasons, and they had the comms from that. And let's just say the communication was a little bit off.
In fact, there's a lot of players that would certainly be featured in that particular video in this game.
It's been a season, Atlas. That was too early for Crazy super play on Camille.
Good God. It's potentially the last game of the night, guys. So
remember, Deft does have insane Drake micro.
I know, his Drake micro is amazing, and you need it with how incredibly buggy
Look at this
in general. Look at that Drake
stutter
go.
step. Did you see the stutter step?
Yeah, I know.
This guy attack moves.
He's attack moving. This is how he can still be an AD carry. He's attack damage dragon right now. Is Deft, and they're going to try and get some work done, but the dragon is going to fall. The box was utilized there to make sure that Deft could keep microing the dragon. As mind games come in, but Deft not going to be stunned.
I like to think it's an alpha use of the box of like, I don't even need this.
Yeah. I don't know, just sets up the walls. He's like, Deft, I'm going to put you in this baby cage. Stop microing that dragon so much. Oh dear.
No one's coming away excited from this game if they're KT fans.
Which is good. It's exactly what KT wants. Never get excited, guys. That is rule number 1.
Well,
but
Rush has his Guardian Angel, cower in fear. Total damage dealt this game. A lot of Duskbringers, so no surprise that Nocturne is high. Didn't really see all of the Talia damage, but 5 times as much as the Aurelia is pretty good.
Yeah. 5 times as much is good, isn't Papa?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that analysis. As UCal even able to take down minion waves, as it turns out. Tempt finally able to grab his Trinity Force, but 16 minutes isn't awful for a 0-0 Aurelia. 0-0-0 Aurelia. 3-0-2 for the Talia.
I'm going to put this out there. If you're 0-0-0 and your enemy is 3-0-2 and you're down 17 CS, that's pretty bad.
He's still got a Trinity Force, though.
Yeah, but he hasn't done anything. And his opponent has done all of the things.
Yeah, but...
It's
BBQ.
Aurelia.
I'm just trying to say good things, and it's really hard, Papa.
No, but it's Aurelia, the champion who was picked after they banned all the AD carries. And now there's no one really to dive except you, Carl, but apparently that didn't happen.
Are you saying that the life of a BBQ player is a sad one? Is that what you're saying? Because, yes, we know that.
Yeah. Maybe less Aurelia for every team in the league.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Viper played pretty well on his, though, as BBQ opt out of this option. Paranoia is going to get KT into the fight. Surprise! There's more kills to be had here on the top side of the map for KT, but no. They opt out of it. They grab Ghost's ultimate, and they're going to trade it for the Paranoia. Odd. Confusing.
Getting the Swain ultimate down is pretty big for KT. Smeb says, well, I want to build some more Giants belts, and stays in the mid lane. They got the banner of command. They'll start to push in. Wave clear on the side of BBQ. Horrendous.
Yeah.
Outside of Swain being able to hit the minion wave, and credit to him, he's able to.
Def using the shield on Rush means that kind of wanted him to go in, but not going to be the case, as Marta going to take himself down. The control ward, Smeb cheating up here, but it's not going to be the hook landing there from Marta, and the barrels aren't going to be hurting. It's not like an AP Gragas or anything like that, as Ignar a little bit starved this game.
It's a big pick. Korean solo queue. Teams have considered it, but the Gragas support hasn't hit its stride, you'd say, in the LCK yet. It's actually really good against Thresh, because if you get hooked, you just body slam ult him and kill the Thresh. In lane, we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mundo decides not to walk straight through Crazy, who is working towards the Rage Blade. He hasn't gone for the Executioner's calling, though, so there will be a race between consistent damage from the Rage Blade and healing from the Mundo.
Yeah, very standard going for this two-item spike here for the Aatrox, though, and I like that idea. Not necessarily playing for the lane, but playing for the ultimate power that you can get with the Aatrox.
Barmy Cinder, good pickup, though, against Aatrox, who does try to lifesteal tank and gets to crazy amounts of lifesteal when you have the Bloodthirst.
Oh, the Bramble Vest. Yeah,
Bramble
yeah.
Vest, sorry, yes. For the, especially against the Rage Blade amped Bloodthirst healing, it is very strong.
Mm-hmm. Like that one a lot. Deft. He's looking to keep pushing things forward. Swain versus Mordekaiser. Oh, a lane of the ages. One I used to play a lot, but that was with a very different Swain and a very different Mordekaiser.
Smeb just wants farm. He's like, well, I tried fighting this guy a couple of times, didn't work. I'm not able to style on him like I did in my head when I picked the reverse matchup, so I'll just win.
Yep.
Fine.
Just win. A good tactic that KT doesn't often go for. They often go for,
hey,
I just style.
Against BBQ they do.
Well, they're going through a lot of just style as well in this game.
I'm waiting for the next Nocturne ultimate. It could be
anything. Oh, the hook out.
Donation.
Yeah, that was a real nice one as the Paranoia, it managed to register. Boom! It was like a dynamite pop in from Rush there as Ghost. He's out of position now on this outer turret on the top side of the map, looking like an option.
It's Hook City on the top side. They had wards up. They have control wards down. They're just looking for extra picks. Like Tamada to try to make his candidacy for the MVP of this game go up. They back away, and Baron, it's not the easiest when the Mundo's not there, but Mundo cannot group. Too obvious they'll be going for a Baron. Deft and Mada push up, and they'll soon have double banner of command, but for now just a single, so they don't even invest it.
Nope, not going to throw that one up there at the moment, and in fact, they're going to give up on this lane entirely. Looking for this mid lane, and where is the next place for KT to attack? Because right now it looks like they're grabbing picks, but picks don't mean a whole lot if it doesn't mean getting something more.
It's difficult. They can't turret dive the Swain, and he has 2 charges of the minion dematerializer still available, so actually just sticking down a banner of command and taking top turret is more of a struggle than you'd imagine. They do manage to banner of command as Swain backs, so there might be a little bit of damage there, but Swain walks top. Why not just take a Drake? If you can just monopolize the Drakes, you're feeling pretty good, and while it's 1-to-1, get this Drake, try to make something happen around the map. That's the KT way to move forward.
Yeah, and double Cloud Drake is beautiful for this comp. In fact, everyone just loves going faster. Real good times is the Dragon. I love how it's just a gigantic shield with the Harvester of Sorrows. Of course, not really a shield anymore, but able to do a lot of damage in an AoE. Helps with the healing. Get that micro happening.
Many times. Doesn't take the Lantern, though. Waiting for KT to move forward. Kind of reminiscent of Kingzone versus FLICKR game number 3, where KT have all the options, and Mata could hit a highlight reel hook. Otherwise, it's kind of slow and steady. At least you can't dematerialize a Drake, says Mordekaiser.
Yep. This is his souped-up banner of command. Pretty good right now, as Dragon is going to tank up the turret, and Deft
Didn't wait for the minion wave.
doing a little bit of a sick micro, but yeah, no minion wave to be there. I believe that was because BBQ had already cleared that one out.
They have to keep pushing, and they hope against hope they'll try to collapse onto them, but this minion wave, you see the members of BBQ have surrendered it. They're hoping crazy and trade for the turret bot lane. They harvest some hopes around the Rage Blade coming through from the Aatrox very soon.
Well, it's not going to be the turret falling. Smeb's able to get here in time, clears that one out. And Smeb probably sitting on some gold as well, as he has been on just the Bramble Vest for quite some time with the Sunfire Cape backing it up. He's able to build just a lot of armor this game if they can deal with Ghost. But Trick will be able to sap that one away, and that's going to help him deal with KT.
Yukar went a very respectful build on the Talia. Very little in the way of Archangels and just Seraphs in the mid lane meta recently. Yeah. Archangels was the only pick in spring, but multiple nerfs towards it, and the Luden's price going down meant Luden's is more attractive for most players and most people who build a tier in general. Deft finally has a damage item. He's got the Leandries himself to try to do at least a little bit of damage.
Going for that before the Rylai's as well this time, which is unique.
A bit more Baron damage, I guess.
Yeah.
And Baron seems like the final frontier for KT. Waiting to see a play where they started up, Weaver's War and Paranoia to slow down and cause some questions among BBQ. With that objective, should be able to actually find real inroads. Struggle of running 3 melee champions, a Thresh and a Talia, is that sieging is not an option for KT. Their initiation is a hook or Rush just diving in there and hoping the rest of his team can close the distance. So that's why things are quite labored for KT. They're very far ahead in terms of where they need to be for the game, but actually moving their state forward, just like the aforementioned Kingzone Game 3, is difficult with the comp they've drafted.
Yeah. See, actually, it's Rush on the bottom side of the map. Wasn't sure whether he was going to be spotted by that very low ward on that side, but here's the engage from BBQ trying to find Marta, and there's the Paranoia. Rush has made his way in here as a lot of AoE damage comes down, but here's the Aatrox. Crazy might have an opportunity to get some work done on Rush. What was that flash? Doesn't have much opportunity as there's no Lantern available for him to take out, and Deft, he's going to be dead. It's 2 kills really easily here for BBQ.
Positioning from Mordekaiser is so strange. Deft's in the backline, around 5 people dies with both summoners up. Botched that one pretty hard, did KT Rolster. Doesn't look like it's going to actually be at the cost of the Baron, though. But BBQ will certainly at least get control over that objective.
Yeah, and they're still very, very healthy here at the same time. KT still looking for more as they are able to grab the Rift Scuttler. Yeah, they're hopping in here. Okay, KT, this is aggressive, the movement. Remember, no teleports available, no Paranoia available.
Only
Hook is going to come in. There's the flip in, but Aatrox now over the wall, and this could be an opportunity. Boop! He's going to get taken down. The flash hook comes through as well, as they're going for the 3v4. Yukal still very, very healthy, and Smeb, he's got the ultimate. He's disarmed, but who cares? To be perfectly honest, if you're Armando, he's just going to straight up kill the Gragas with his Sunfire Cape.
That definitely happened, Atlas. It didn't look like they'd have enough damage, but Yukal played it excellently against the Aatrox. He's hunting on this Talia around the backside. This is why I said they couldn't do the Baron. They tried it anyway. They thought maybe this is the only time we'll ever get near it.
Was this the plan all along?
You know, Rush has next level got Baron on the Nocturne twice through skillful ultimates.
Plus his Paranoias, yeah, they've just done some weird things. So yeah, I think that was another 300 IQ. This, on the side of Deft, who was just face-tanking everyone. Seraph's Embrace is now evolved. Just let's have a look at this fight one more time.
I'm really sad because I need to know why Mordekaiser walked to the back of the fight and died with both the summoners up earlier, but we're not going to see that. We're going to see why you don't do Baron in a 3v5 at 24 minutes when you're behind, because, well, first Yukal will make your Aatrox look silly, and then from there the chase eventually comes through from the Doctor.
The only damage that UCal took here was actually from the Baron. As no one has been able to get on top of him. Finally, something is going to land. But man, KT still poised so aggressively when BBQ had 5 versus their 3. And you could see there why. And good God, the Mundo doing the most damage. Okay. Okay. That doesn't include the fight that Def died in.
My favorite thing about this game is now I want everyone on the next KT series to have a test. Because you can definitely tell who read the post-match thread and who watched this match in terms of how they feel about KT. You know what I mean?
Yep, I know exactly.
So everyone should go into the post-game thread and be like, it's immaculate masterclass by KT. Amazing. 2-0, scoreboard looking clean.
Yep.
And well, you'll know. You'll be able to pick who the true hardcore is and who the passerby is.
But now you've sort of baited people into being both, because now maybe they've watched it and they listen to you as well. So it's like, oh, what am I going to believe? Oh yeah, I was just listening to Papa's video. I was doing the cool, funny joke. No, I don't
Hey,
understand.
the people that get it wrong aren't also going to re-listen to the cast. As KT Rolster have contrived to find a way to get a big lead.
Yep.
Dear Diary, all these things happened. I guess we won.
Oh no, he got confused as Ghost is able to tank that one up. Finally, it comes in as it's going to go to Mordekaiser because he had the banner of command.
And finally, Swain is out of minion dematerializers.
Yeah, he used his last one in the mid lane a little bit earlier on, I believe.
Mata actually went for Zeke's convergence earlier. It's been finished for a while. He had it linked to Mordekaiser. He still does. That's a decision you can make.
Is it a good one? We don't know.
I mean, I don't think using it on Nocturne will be very useful.
I also feel like just leaving this inhibitor to die to the minions is an odd decision as well, but the banner of command was still there. Smeb having to deal with Crazy, but that means Crazy's not going to be here in the mid lane, as the Baron buff is helping KT with their limited siege options take down that turret. But with the Talia this huge, you can imagine that they do have some thoughts for what they can do. Vision of Empire not going to be landing here as Crazy gets slowed down. The stacked up Rage Blade is going to help him take down the minion wave, but is it going to help him with the rest of his team? I don't know. There's the pullback. They might actually be able to grab this pick here as Paranoia is utilized. What level of IQ are we going to get from Rush this time as the boot back comes in? Yukao, time is being bought for him, but in comes Rush after the Guardian Angel, and can he actually get any work done as Smeb? He's going to flash. Crazy flashes as well, but the wrong direction. Yukao now going to be taken down as Tempt. He's going to find some work to be done. The flash over from Deft grabs one of the pickups, and they try to get out of the way of the W as it does time out, and they will kill the Mordekaiser. Oh, KT.
Oh, that was a very KT team fight right there. Oh no. The moment you said what level of IQ ultimate will we see, the answer came in riveting. It was about a 55 on this time by Rush. It wasn't full 30, but oh boy. Does die for free. Deft lives. He's still there, but unfortunately the Ghost times out, so he doesn't get a Ghost through all of this.
Oh, well, he put it on to Trick as well, which was an odd choice. Wanted it for Tempt here, but
anyone else excited?
Someone must be, because awful things are happening to KT right now.
They're going to lose a Drake, which sucks when you have the Mordekaiser. Eldritch Spawning might be some way to fight around, but all those things happened as we kind of just giggled around them.
What else are you going to do, though? 8,000 gold is still the lead here for KT.
Again, tears are always an option.
Yep. Oh, man. I feel like something's telling me that, you know, Monte Cristo tuned into this particular broadcast. Like, Monty, are you watching? Because I feel like that's why KT doing ridiculous stuff.
We only have Joel in our headsets, not Monty.
Yeah, calling out. If he's watching, he heard me. Joel's still here as well, and there was definite sadness in his voice.
All right, KT, let's try just sticking everyone mid. You got some banners, you got some things you could do. Talia did a lot of damage, but unfortunately didn't have a Mundo. Speaking of Mundos.
Yep, they're going to engage right on top of Smeb as well. Uses the Gargoyle Snowplate. That's going to keep him alive as the Sadism is going to tick his health bar up as Crazy. Down to the passive now, but the ultimate comes in from Tempt. We've got Paranoia now as well as Nocturne. Just not making his way into this team fight at all. Mata going to have to flash to get out of the way, and BBQ team fighting like lords towards the end of this game.
Swain's punishing the melee so hard. Do they have the damage to kill a frontliner? They certainly seem to have the damage inside of BBQ to kill the Mundo. Super Minions pushing in the base. BBQ, no Baron to take, no Elder to take, but a mid lane outer turret will be the start of something. And the comeback from BBQ that wasn't looking likely from a huge gold deficit is starting to brew.
It is. And as they claw this gold lead back, 6,000 is now the mark, and that's practically nothing. KT really got to pull themselves back into this game. Smeb, he's huge. I mean, he's a Mundo. He's happy to go wherever he wants, but Subjugate is there. Crazy is there for so much damage. He's got an Executioner's Calling as well now, and Asterix Gauge. This Aatrox is going to be disgusting. How are they going to deal with it? I'm not entirely sure.
Strong play around Baron and Elder, I think, is their best move in this particular game. If you come into them, they have some options. If Swain is having to use his ult to get to a fight, if he has to use their stuff in the wrong order, it can become a problem for BBQ. But KT need to kill the first person. They actually need to burst someone down. They don't have the highest amount of damage, but if they can layer it into someone, get a clone, get a ghost, that would be the beginning there. I'm talking about the Mordekaiser Ghost, not the player.
Yeah.
He's going to be very tricky to keep down, but now there's GA. The Zonius has been there a while. Killing one person is not a trivial thing, and it probably has to be Trundle or Gragas.
Well, Trick very close to getting hooked there. Did have the Merc Treads to help him get out of that with the tenacity, but boy, could have been Cast Curse right there for BBQ. KT unable to find these picks. They do want to start the fight off by killing one person. They can do that. They get 6v4. Things feel great.
Trundle is up.
Yeah, once again going to be another option as he does get stunned. They're just trying to buy space to get vision control around the Baron. It's calm collected here from BBQ.
It's good from BBQ. They had this timing where they can walk up because the Super Minions hadn't crashed into the base. And speaking of Super Minions, they're going to be abated for a while. The Inhibitor has respawned on the top side. BBQ have closed the gold gap. 5,000 this late into the game means very little. Crazy himself, if he's free autoing, he's going to be doing an insane amount of damage. Banner of Command from the Mordekaiser at the cost of a lot of damage from the bot lane. Elder soon to spawn. Baron soon to spawn. Def's actually going to just go for a drive-by promote. Go back to top side. And now it's all about Baron control because for now, KT finding it hard to walk up and BBQ clearing the pit.
Yeah, Def didn't have teleport or anything like that as well. Could have been an opportunity for BBQ to pull the trigger on that Baron buff also. Now KT running out of options as they clear out this mid lane. And it feels like BBQ after those two teamfight wins, one after the other. How are they going to win this game? There it is, Bannered Minion going to die.
It's going to help with the push, but a much slower one because the minion itself died.
Yeah.
Slowly on the bot side, the Inhibitor difficult to return to, and KT finding value out of some of these champions in a true 5v5 will be a struggle. Thresh falls away in the 5v5. The Zeke's Convergence doesn't have a obvious user, I guess Nocturne perhaps, but Nocturne diving into Aurelia Trundle, Aatrox Swain is a pretty bad time.
Yeah.
So actually finding a way to get that first kill or even increase their game state. It's going to get a second Banner of Command on the side of Thresh. Mundo may slowly die, but as he slowly dies, we've already seen KT fail to find a way to truly capitalize.
Just a bit of a worry. BBQ are going to start off this Baron, and remember, this is extraordinarily fast. Pings come in as there's the Weaver's Wall.
They don't have the blue trinket up. They have to check it with the Weaver's Wall.
That will spot what's going on. Is now a little bit out of position as Smeb. He's going to wander his way forward. Paranoia available. Can Rush get into the pit? Can he steal this Baron? He does! As Rush gets out as well with the Lantern. The hooks are going to land as well. And Trick, he's going to go down very quickly. I'm not sure whether the ultimate was there, as there's a lot of AoE damage flying through the middle of this fight as Deft seems unkillable right now. Mata trying to do what he can, but look, BBQ still have so much damage available. Deft grabs himself, the double is crazy. He's going to be fighting the Mord, but my god, the damage out of Deft is repugnant, and Smeb's just chasing after Tempt. This could just be the end of the game as Deft a little bit upset about how slow he walks.
2 people still alive, but Rush makes the big steal. Can they get onto 10? He's turning.
Yep, the flash is going to come down there. Marta should fall down, and he does as Smeb just cannot kill this guy quickly enough. The Ionian Fervor is stacked, but it doesn't matter. He still goes to the Death Chamber, even on kill score, but Deft is alive. He's got the Banner of Command, and he's now going to be able to take down the mid lane.
Respawn time means that KT may not win on this push. Trick is already back up, and Deft, in fact, in 2 minds about pushing up or not. It's only support and the tank jungler. He'll back away, but the Baron was clutch from Rush.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
BBQ roll the dice here. I feel like because they won the last few fights, they didn't need to finish it. They choose to finish. Flash in, the paranoia to stop him being ulted away earlier. Nicely done by Rush. He thought that one through. There's the 200 IQ we were looking for in this particular game. Gets in the pit, and this is a fiesta of a fight. So many bruisers and Zonias and all sorts of ability to avoid death. But by the end, Death's bonks are doing a lot of damage.
Oh man, it was the Harvester of Sorrows. It was the shield, the W, that just ripped them apart.
Even when you get 5 points in your Q, you're doing a lot of damage too.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they get the Baron kind of against expectation. Now it's Elder time. They put down the Weavers. Well, only 5 seconds after the nerf, they try to train it down.
Remember, this is going to be one hell of a huge dragon coming in, as well as now we've got the party, and Rush once again with the smite. Look at this huge dragon as well to follow this one up. The fear comes down. That's the pick on a Trick once again, and this will mean 2 inhibitors already. The pings come in.
No ultimate onto Trundle, but that's because they got an even huger dragon than usual Atlas to roll through the mid lane. Can they carry this dragon to victory? I don't think it dances like a Rift Herald, but I don't think KT will give a monkey.
I think also Def can probably make it dance as well. We've seen this guy with his sweet micro of the dragon. It's now going to move up, make short work of this inhibitor.
So
actually, no, it's
big.
just going to dance. It's just insane. It's so big. Oh, fantastic. I love it. The change to the Elder Drake to make it huge was really, really fun. But now we've got Baroned up minions, we've got an Elder Drake, we've got KT closing the door on this game. The series, don't really know what to make of it. Hell, it was really fun. I'll give you that. As now Nexus turrets, they're going to die. The conga lines, yeah, look at all these minions. Just murdering structures, murdering BBQ members. They're all stacked up for the AoE as well, as they're trying to take down Deft, but he's got a new Zonias. Now he can just micro his dragon for free, and the Nexus falls down 2-0 for KT, but it wasn't pretty.
Very eventful 2-0 is finally picked up. Deft closes the game. His Mordekaiser does end up being adequate in closing it down. Rush had some up moments, had some down moments. Quintessential Rush. Very clutch Baron steal into Elder Dragon secure. The young man's mechanics, the score has failed upon a couple of times. Key moments in the past means that KT Rolster do take down BBQ 2-0.
Yeah, looking at the scoreline, you're like, oh, KT, they are able to do it. Clean League of Legends 2-0, I like it. However, on the other side of the coin, watching that game did not give me any confidence in KT Rolster at all. Personally,
yeah, it was,
often they play the level of their opponents, though. They do a lot of that. Their first game that we saw out of them was very clean. Very, very clean, but... sorry, very clean. The first match that we saw this season.
Yes.
But the first match this game, this series, not great.
He needs to be happy to get out of the booth and work on the VOD review, which will be quite extensive for both teams, I would guess.
Yeah.
After this game, Rush got the smites in, and that ended up being very impressive, but we saw desyncs between players. We saw team fights where abilities were being used in kind of bizarre ways. The builds worked in the first game, but they were also a bit against logic. Counter-logic gaming performance, you would say.
Yeah.
Side of KT, and I'm not even talking about the name of the team, but just what we saw. Some big numbers, because these fights went on for a long time, and for once Mordekaiser does the most damage, and that never happened.
I know, Deft actually playing out of his mind, and I'm so glad that finally we see a carry Mordekaiser performance. Of course, it's going to be Deft that does it as well. I mean, he played it back in 2015 when Mord was busted as hell, and he also did some great things on it then. Of course, suffering a few defeats. This was when he was with EDG, but when he was playing well, he was playing really well. So once again, I mean, we talk about mastery, and Deft, one of our Mordekaiser players of old. So it makes sense that he's going to be able to perform. Elsewhere on the map, things were questionable. UCal having a great start to the game and then falling off in these fights, getting a lot of focus. And just some decision-making that was weird. Out of KT, weird. Out of BBQ, it's a weird and wonderful time. I had a great time personally watching it, but it was a cacophony of weird stuff.
In match number 20, best of 3, number 20, KT Rolster 2-0'd BBQ. The asterisk is either massive or very small, and you want to just look over it.
Yeah.
Depending on which team you are, as Mada will pick up the MVP. Hook City was enacted for a lot of the mid-game, and that's when KT did a lot of the heavy lifting. By the end, it turned into a bit of a fiesta.
I also feel like, you know, that Baron deny that he picked up as well was a really huge turning point, so I can understand why he would pick up this MVP. I personally thought Deft making the Mordekaiser look like a carry was a really nice one, and you've also got Rush having some great moments, being able to pick this one up with just crushing the fat man into the ground. But this hook was beautiful. Chaining it into the seismic shove was also really nice. Had the ignite to make sure that the Aatrox was dead, and then hook after hook in this moment. Really was the Mada show. So yeah, I guess deserved.
Sure, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of people you could have considered here. Deft had a pretty good game on the Mordekaiser and also had the flank where he died with Summoners up. Rush could have just won the MVP for getting 2 smites. We've had people win MVPs for less in the past, and in the clutch, Rush was able to get down those smites. Immense amount of gameplay there. Just like his Lee Sin, those smites.
Immense amounts of gameplay.
I mean, to be fair, some of these team fights had a lot of gameplay.
Look at all of the gameplay for Deft. He pressed W on a Mundo.
Is there more gameplay when all the bruises run at each other, or when the Cho'Gath eats someone at 2009?
What about put your mouse over someone and press R, which is what Deft is doing right now as the Elder Drake mows everyone down.
Let's see how Mada's emotions are in this interview.
Wait, what did you say?
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's send it over to Joel for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your last interview translation for the night, and we're here with Bitdol and, of course, with KT Rolster, who do pick up the win. Very nice win for these guys, a 2-0. Seemed like a tougher 2-0 win on this occasion, but nonetheless, they are going to be the winners out for today. And Smed and Mada will join us for the interview. Smed, it's your first time with us in the interview. Now I'm here for the MVP interview, and I just came a little bit too late, if I have to say for myself. Mata, you want to say something as well? I'm the KT support, Mata. And it was a back and forth action. That 2-0 doesn't really reflect what we actually got to see for those 2 games. And how tough was it? I mean, the first few minutes we had to be really tough, and we tried to end the game early, but a lot of mistakes came through and just made the game a lot tougher and made the game a little bit more extended, something that we didn't want for our composition. And you were trying to get the snowball and trying to move along with that to hopefully finish out the game earlier. It was kind of what was really expected. And feels like even the KT fans aren't even happy with the way you guys played, because you guys could have played that so much better, and it's something that you guys want to think about just a little bit. At the same time, I think we are lacking in multiple ways right now as a team, and I think even today's win shouldn't be the extent of our happiness, and we should try to improve on that as much as we can. And Mata, we are also asking, and we heard that you weren't feeling that well, of course, with your condition not being the best. Yeah, I'm not the best in terms of my health, but I'm trying to make the best out of it. And just another fun side story is that, and Deft was kind of being suggested to be playing the typical ADCs instead of playing the more meta champs out there. But Mada, what do you think about that as the forever partner in crime? I mean, for me personally, I think it's better to play the typical ADCs, but in the situationally, we're in this circumstance where it's a little bit better to play the meta ADCs, so definitely would not mind him there. And just extending on to that, we were talking about the second game because you actually chose your skin with the Samsung white skin back in the day, and did you feel like you were given that command by somebody else? I think I'm lacking confidence nowadays. I think something, and I saw Tusin use my skin and did pretty well with it. So I thought I was trying to get that good luck charm on my hands. Yeah, I wanted to just receive the energy from Tusin. Let's talk about the games just a little bit, and something that was interesting was that Mundo was kind of the big pick, and we thought that there was not really a big counter against it. But what do you think about Aatrox going up against the Mundo? I think that Aatrox is a little bit stronger than the Mundo. Is that Mundo is just a little weaker when it comes to dives, and Aatrox can make the best advantage of it because you can just go back and forth and taking the damage and putting out the damage yourself. So it's a little bit better champion, I think. Let's look at some of the highlights here. This was you talking about exactly what you were referring to. The big pressure being put on Mundo. Not much you can do there. And you really just showed a huge power drop already. How do you feel like you were strong enough to make that aggressive of a dive in? Our composition was all about diving in and making initiations, and we relied on each other to make the right plays at the right time, and we knew that once we went in, once we had a good angle on their opponents, and then we knew we were going to get the kills there. And Aatrox, item choices, also the rune choices, have been a little bit questionable from your part, Smeb. And we actually saw you going with the, and whether the Trinity Force comes before the Guinsu, and the other way around, it's going to be the differing opinions on things. But anything you want to say on that? I think Triforce, I mean, Guinsu is strong, but utility-wise, I think it lacks quite a bit. So in order to work with the cooldown reduction also, with a bunch of other stats as well, I think Triforce is just a better all-arounded item. And talking about the minion dematerializer, and that's always been there as well. You just want to keep that pushing lane as well, because you don't want to get pushed by a Mundo if you're trying to win that lane. Of course, it seems like a more specific oriented picks there with the items, and also with the runes as well. I also get to ask you about Thresh, Mata. Thresh, Kalista, and we were trying to talk about picks that would really push out the lane quite heavily. And is this something that you guys prefer, or is this something that you guys have for a different reason? I mean, from the early parts of the season, we were just kind of wondering what to play because there was a lot of question marks in the air. And we were trying different things, and we were trying to get some answers along the way, and we were trying to go with the typical ADCs, but I tried to go with other things, and now try the typical meta ADCs, and now we're getting a better results out of it, so we're kind of trying to stick with that. Of course, with KDT having a hard time from the beginning of the season, now doing a little bit better. What is the kind of the communication between you guys and the coaches as you guys see the results? I mean, there definitely are lots of topics that are being discussed between the players and the coaches. And we're trying to just stay in sync and trying to move along the same direction. That's the most important thing for us. And you guys are trying your best to get back in line and to get back in form. And of course, Mata, having a tough time conditionally, and you're trying to see what you can do on these days out. These hooks came in left and right. And it really was all these hooks connecting. It just showed great cutoff from the perspective of your opponents who just couldn't get their plays going. And did you feel that the certainty that you guys would have stopped this Baron rush? We thought that if we rushed them pretty hard, then there would be no way for them to take the Baron. So we were pretty confident in that play. And we saw Rush taking that really nice steal from the Baron. And what was that? Kind of the big cheerful and going in for that. Yeah, Rush is good at weird things, and it's something he can't do the normal things right, but he does the weird things right, and that's just something we know about Rush, and we just appreciate about that as well. And that steal, I mean, that does give you a lot back in terms of momentum, and also trying to put it in. Of course, someone in the bench with Score probably looking at that play and probably thinking a lot of the complex things in his head, I'm sure. But I'm sure, what do you think about that play, especially when you saw Rush making that really beautiful steal? I mean, there's not much to say, but I think Rush is just learning a lot from Score generally, so I mean, not much comment on the other question though. I'm sure it was a tough one, especially in set 2 with the mid lane. It was really a tough one when you had to just hold that lane, and Rush just went in all the way, and we thought, again, look at it, you can see a specific example of that where Rush came in, he rushed in. And this was right here, the ultimate came in, and Rush came in from nowhere. He was supposed to just, you know, kill the enemy and just die up, but kind of went in all by himself there. How'd you feel about that communication? I was trying to just work with Aatrox, but I know, like I told you, Rush does weird things very well, so and he accomplished that one once again. And we saw the Nocturne ult going towards Irelia, and we saw the Irelia going with the Q for the minions in the back end. And of course, we talked about Rush looking a lot worse than what he actually did, but you know, more of a better play by Irelia. And stopwatch is basically, we call it League of Stopwatch for a reason, where it's being so much used. And how do you feel like you guys really be exact and precise in how all these stopwatches are used, and what is the big thing about that item in particular? It just feels like the spells are more oriented upon, you know, just really wiping out a player in an instant, and you can just talk about the flash being used and all the items being used. I think the stopwatch goes the same way as well. And now you're trying to just make sure you save the flash for a little bit later and trying to make the stopwatch, but KT picking up a win can feel a little awkward because there is a tough matchup in ahead, and I'm sure you have a lot of fans who have been really crunching their hearts and trying to figure out, you know, how to think of KT on the upcoming run. But do you have anything like to say to them? I mean, our players, I know our first starts haven't been great, and with the loss, we were trying to make sure we recover from that. I think today's win should motivate us to do a lot better in the coming days, and hopefully we can try to do better. And with the fans, we just ask you to give your energy so that we can just use that energy to make us into a better team, so we can win a lot more games after. Sure, for the fans it was a lot more meaningful in terms of getting that one win, but with KT Rolster finally getting a win after a long time, and we're going to see them hopefully do a lot better. And that was the interview with KT, and I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel. Always good to have a chat with Smeb and Marta. But yeah, I think they understand that things didn't necessarily go as well as they could have, but wanting to focus more on the marksman meta is interesting based on the fact that they only did that sort of 50% of the time.
Well, a lot of bans in the second game that I guess can excuse them a little bit, but I do think they have had their eyes off the boil a bit. They've been off the boil 2-2 +1. It's not a great scoreline. I guess the glass half full is I hope they were preparing for their next opponent, because they face Gen G on Saturday, and that one's going to be hard.
Yeah. Gen G on Saturday, and then it's SKT after that, so maybe that's an opportunity for a victory, but it doesn't get much easier, because, you know, Griffin lies in wait. There is still a lot of opposition for KT to get through. I think it's only MVP that's looking further on the bottom of the table.
Tomorrow it's going to be a Spo TV day. Griffin versus SKT, MVP versus Jinner. Second series is going to be a bit up in the air, given that both those teams have been struggling. KT versus Gen G is going to be a real reality check for KT. If they perform there, it doesn't matter how they did against BBQ. It's going to be a big win for them. If they don't, it's going to be a struggle. But that will be the next OGN day, so we zoom on to Saturday. There'll be a Kilio Sanai, KT Gen G into Hanwha Life Esports versus FLICKR. It could be 2 stomps. It could also be 2 very competitive series.
Yeah, I feel like it's either going to be a very quick night or a very long night, to be honest. I'm not sure where it's going to go. Last time we said Hanwha was going to, you know, help topple someone. It was actually the opposite situation, and it was a 2-0. But, you know, anything can happen because that team has been impressive.
Well, we will also digress a little bit and say thank you, everyone, for sitting around today. It was a very long night's worth of games. Thank you for joining us for, what, 6 hours of gameplay and all the pauses. We got more coming.
We certainly do, and thank you for ruining a Reddit thread as well, guys. That was absolutely fantastic. But it's not going to be me on Saturday, and you'll be able to see Papa Smithy and Achilleos then. But for now, good night.
But you're the criminal. No implication.